Hello, my lovely hummingbirds. How's it going, everyone? It's your girl Monroe, and you're listening to Pop Culture. No, I didn't feel like chewing gum at like 9 in the morning when I'm recording this because that just doesn't sound good for my teeth. Probably neither is like the copious amounts of caffeine that I drink throughout the day, but that's neither here nor there. Hi guys, what's up? For everyone here on YouTube viewing me and you're like, bitch, what's that on your head? Because you don't really see me with these headphones on when I record episodes for YouTube. Hi, yeah, this is how I usually record for Pop Culture, which is the title of my podcast on Spotify. It is also the title of this channel. It is the most common known name for my company, which is actually Helloooo PBL LLC. Yeah, why are you saying all this, bitch? Well, okay, so little bit of backstory. If you are new to this channel, hi, welcome, hello, my lovely hummingbirds. To everyone that has already been here, what's up? How y'all doing? I know you're probably sick and tired of my fucking updates, but here we are with another one for you. It is officially season 4. Season 4 of Pop Culture, 3 years of me being completely independent as far as owning this company and providing content for you guys and media and all this stuff. And over the course of the past 3 years, a lot has happened, especially in my life personally. A lot. And it has caused me to make a lot of changes as the series has gone on, and a whole lot of inconsistencies as it's gone on as well, which is something that I personally am not okay with. It stresses me clean the fuck out, and honestly, somewhat annoys the fuck out of me. For those of you that don't know, Pop Culture is a podcast series, a YouTube channel where we discuss everything about everything pertaining to things in pop culture, media, music, the arts, awareness for like mental health and endometriosis specifically, and just a bunch of fun shit. Pop Culture started years ago when I was part of a separate company called LLP Media that I had with one of my besties at the time, pre-COVID, all that good shit. Once COVID hit, she essentially was like, here, it's yours, do with it what thou will. And I was like, bet. So I was like, what am I going to do with it? Well, of course, I'm still going to talk tea and gossip and farandula and all this good shit. But as time went on and things were progressing, especially within the past year and a half almost, there was such a downturn in not just listeners, but in myself and my consistency with this podcast, with this channel. And I frankly was not happy with it. I ended up taking something that I wanted to build as a space for not just what is currently happening within what is considered Hollywood and big media and popular culture, but also what is happening on a more local level, local artists, interviews, things of that sort, and also covering topics that are trending, topics that are really at the forefront of like people's minds, things like that. And somewhere along those lines of doing what I wanted to do, I got lost into doing everything that kind of was already out there. And I would notice myself getting stressed every time I was creating these episodes and these stories, and then creating one separate thing for Pop Culture on Spotify, which was Anchor prior, mind you. If you didn't tune into the episode where I discussed this, Spotify bought out Anchor. Anyway, so now it is Spotify for podcasters. And I was doing one thing for Spotify, doing another for YouTube, chaos is just the essence of my TikTok, quite frankly. But that one, I kind of just be bullshitting on half the time and then stressing out when, like, things, I'm like, but why is no one viewing? Because I'm not fucking actually, you know, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Discipline is a bitch. And it ended up becoming a chore. It ended up becoming something that I lost the sense of how much I loved it. And then when Spotify Wrapped came around the end of last year and I saw just how well pop culture had done regardless of it, I bawled like a fucking baby. I put my crying ass on TikTok and I was like, oh my god, thank you so much to everyone. Special shout out to Dingy Girl, though. I did not fucking mention it. Shame on me. Like, I completely forgot. But Dingy Girl's episode, Pop Culture Interviews Dingy Girl, was the most listened to episode of last year. I was so fucking stoked. I was like, yo, this is amazing. But, you know, bitch was in trauma program and dealing with all this extra shit on the side. So I was just like, cry, boop. Blips out. But if you don't know Dingy Girl, you should go listen to that episode. She is really amazing. She supports artists, I don't want to say underdog, but more so like lesser known artists that are known very well in their niches, in their communities, local artists, things like that. She's really incredible. Go check her out. Go check out her pages, all of that. But I sat here and I was like, yo, is this not why you did this? Is this not the reason why you took over pop culture, why you continued to go with it, why you said that you wanted it to be more than just farandula and gossip and things like that? You wanted to bring awareness to things happening in the community, whether it is music or art or industry or whatever it is. What are you doing then? And I kept, recording and giving y'all tea episodes and all this stuff. And then slowly but surely, I started incorporating the episodes of Makeup and Motivation from here on YouTube onto the end of the episodes on Spotify. And not only was I wearing myself thin out of fear that the episodes were not going to be well received, once I started noticing a decline in listens, I was also very heartbroken personally. I was just like, damn, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Maybe I'm fucking up. And then something was like, well, you're not entirely fucking up. Just restructure. So I was like, okay, universe, you're telling me I can't just drop this? That's fine. So here we are. Revamping, renewing, restructuring everything that is pop culture. Not really, because essentially we're just going back to the basics. What does that mean? You're still gonna get cosplays and reviews from me and motivational shit and information on endo and mental health and doing the witchy, spooky stuff, and I'm still gonna give y'all tarot readings. Like, all of that is still gonna happen. You're still gonna hear me slurp on caffeine. You're still going to get the bubblegum pops. You're still going to get the artist interviews and other people coming in to, discuss shit with me on this podcast. All of that is still going to happen. But we're merging! Yay, merging! My button's outside and I don't feel like going to get it. So, for those of you that don't know what the fuck my button is, I literally have a button. I'm going to go get the button. This is my button. It literally says hype and cheers. Which, if you know me, you know I am the biggest hype, and we cheers often on this podcast. We really do. I'm trying to think if there's been a person that I haven't had on that we weren't having some form of drink with. Interesting. Anyway, well, that's what happens when you have a millennial run podcast. I don't know, but That is my button. We are merging! Yay! And by merging, I mean exactly that. Everything that you see here on YouTube, you will be able to listen audio only on Spotify. Woo! And one of the things why I was also heartbroken from noticing a decline in listeners was not just because, like, it was not just because I was like, damn, people don't want to listen to me anymore. It wasn't that. It was, damn, I know that I was not as consistent as I could have been and done everything that I wanted to do with this channel and with pop culture as a whole. And that is why things are turning out the way that they are turning out. Consistency in everything is key. We all know this. And it also broke my heart because you need 100 listeners on Spotify to receive, like, you get like fucking 10 cents every 1,000 listens or whatever bullshit it is. There's a thing here, if I'm wrong about that, I'll like put in the correction. But over the course of X amount of time, I frankly didn't get hella money from creating this podcast or anything like that. I really do this because I love it. And seeing that, like, okay, cool, so you're no longer going to have ads because you don't have 100 people listening on a consistent basis. I was like, okay, yeah, cool, but oh no, I fucked up. They're not listening because I was being an inconsistent ass bitch. That's fair. And I sat there and I was like, okay, how are we going to do this then? How... I forgot to put in D&D. I was like, okay, how am I going to revamp everything? Well, merging. So while I'm still gonna give you guys my take on whatever new hot and happening thing is going on in the world, it's gonna be a little more structured for my sanity to not be doing 50 billion things at once, even though I am a one-woman show over here and pretty much I do everything. I record, makeup, edit, promote, all of it. And even all the little fucking background music and all that shit that you hear, I created all of that. I make those sounds. So, I'm a one-woman show going crazy. Yeah, pop culture is going to, one, if you haven't noticed yet, the handle here on YouTube is different. It is now at LOVPBL LLC in order to make the merge a little more concise across platforms. I'm literally gonna cry right now. Besides that, everything is shifting. So you are going to, as I said, everything that you see here on YouTube, you're going to hear it audio on Spotify. If you are listening on Spotify, obviously you're not going to get the makeup looks on Spotify. That is strictly for YouTube. So if you are inclined to watch the videos, go ahead and watch the videos. If you are inclined to listen to just the podcast episode because you're like, I'll watch the makeup later, I want to hear what she has to say, go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's the big announcement. Moving forward, you're going to get a little bit more topic-driven commentary and content. It'll help me personally have things a bit more scheduled and consistent across every series on this channel. And why do I do this? Why pop culture? Well, the purpose of pop culture for me anyway is I want to bring forward the stories that we don't always get to hear. I want to bring forward the experiences that aren't always talked about so openly. I want to bring awareness to shit. I want to teach things when it comes to like spiritual shit and mental health and endo, and bring y'all some fucking random news of the day. Like, did y'all hear like the thing about the fucking satellite that was supposed to crash into Earth and supposedly debris was about to hit people? Like, did y'all know about that? I saw that shit and I was like, and why is this not more widely informed? But you know, that might just be my personal obsession with space. Anyway, so things like that. I love doing this. Ironically, so my actual name, my siblings picked it out because they heard it, because on the way to the hospital, so the story goes, is they're on the way to the hospital and they don't know what they're gonna name the premature baby. They weren't ready yet. And my siblings hear the name of the reporter on the radio and they were like, that's her name. And they were like, oh my god, that's great. And I was laughing with my siblings nonchalantly around the holidays last year, and I sat there and I look at my sister and I look at my brother and I look at me, you know, out of body. And I was like, it's really funny that if you guys think about it, all of our names actually fit for everything we were trying to do in life. My brother was trying to go into sports, and then like injury happened and he couldn't pursue it anymore. But because of his name, it's after an athlete. My sister is named after a president's wife, and she has a double major in political science and business administration. And I was just like, And here I am, a wild little podcasting bitch, bringing the news and stories to people. Interesting how our lives were literally predestined by our name. And that's a whole other spiritual thing that I'm gonna get into later. But I sat there and I was like, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do with this podcast moving forward? So yeah, it's going to be more topic oriented, more topic driven. We are going to cover a bunch of shit from like advancements in technology, obviously still tea and whatever, but it's going to be more like social expectations upon the human body, things that like, you know, traumatic childhood experiences, very topic based. And of course, because makeup and motivation is going to officially take over. How's it going, everyone? Yes, by the way, that was the actual podcast name. I just didn't know how to break it to y'all for 3 years. I have people-pleasing issues, apparently, that I had to get over. So, Pop Culture, which is how everyone knew the podcast, including my closest friends, I was like, damn, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to tell anyone that Pop Culture was actually called How's It Going, Everyone? And me saying welcome to another episode of Pop Culture is because that's the company DBA. But makeup and motivation is essentially taking over that. How's it going, everyone is still going to be the classic tagline that I have across all of the channels now, or sorry, all of the series on this channel now. And yeah, but that's the reason for Pop Culture. I wanted to bring everything that might not be necessarily at the forefront to the front so that it can be seen and dived into, and if I can get really big name artists and all the local artists that I get and all under one space and have everybody mix in with one another, that would be really fucking cool too. There's this line. I really am a theater kid. Anyway, so there's this line in Rent where they're singing, fuck. Not me blanking out right now because I'm so nervous. Okay, sorry. My chaos out of the way. So, in La Vie Boheme, there's this one line that he fucking says. He's like, oh, anyone out of the mainstream is anyone in the mainstream. And for Pop Culture, it's really funny because not only do I, God willing, next year your girl is gonna be at the Met Gala, okay? Fingers fucking crossed. Anna Wintour, baby girl, get me at the Met Gala. Anyway, next week is the Met Gala, which honestly, awesome. 1st of May, first Monday of May, so cool. But my fashion stuff a un lado. In pop culture, in this podcast that is pop culture, we discuss, yes, popular culture as a whole, and like the Kardashians and the D'Amelios and the Met Gala and everything that is happening when it comes to big media, right? But I also interview local artists like Dre Lauren, like Dingy Girl, like Sleeper Signal, like Lever, and a bunch more bands that I am hoping to get on here very, very soon for you guys. Because while you can see big media and local art, right? It's all just art. In its own niches, in its own way, but it's all just art. And if I can, with this podcast, somehow make a bridge to the two, so that more local artists, if they are so inclined, have like a bigger exposure and bigger platform. Like, obviously, you know, TikTok's a thing, right? But if I can help in some way, I am beyond thrilled, beyond excited for that. But yeah, I want it to be more than just listening to the art. I want it to be the artist behind the art. I want it to be what drives them. I want it to be what pushes them, what inspires. And I want it to be a space where we can really have a conversation and talk about the shit that's going on. Because one of the like biggest things, especially now, especially with how big social media has gotten, is that like a lot of it isn't real. And there's this whole notion of like, oh, this is what it is and that means it's going well. Not always. And if I can pull back the blinders a bit on all of it, you know, I'm happy to do so. But yeah, because like, you know, I'm over here fucking with full face of makeup on, and then like the video gets edited and clipped and music added and pretty sounds and effects and all this stuff. And it's the same thing with like pictures everywhere. And it's like, in a society that is so susceptible to believing everything we see, I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to put the humanity back into it, if that makes sense. So, hi, my lovely hummingbirds. Welcome to Pop Culture. Also, we're going to do a little quick recap on just that itself. Why hummingbirds? Well, if you haven't gone to listen to the episodes that are up on Pop Culture where I discuss this in detail of the hummingbird and what it means and all that stuff, hi. So, one, I love hummingbirds. They are my favorite bird. Yes, I have a favorite bird. I think I have like a favorite of pretty much every animal. I was a nerd kid growing up. I'm still a nerd. I don't know what to tell you. But if you've never been asked by a 4-year-old what your favorite dinosaur is, like, have you even lived? Auntie alert. So, hummingbirds are my favorite bird. One of, the second one is a raven. Which, like, short and pudgy and adorable and colorful, and then long and black and looming, is my personality. Which makes perfect sense why those are my two favorites. But, and then doves, but That's a whole other thing. So, hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are the only bird that can fly backwards. Fun fact. Second fun fact, their heart rate beats is out of this world. The level to which they flap their wings is so fucking fast, and with all of that, they can still get their little spout into the nettles of a flower and extract the nectar from it without damaging it. And in Mexican culture, the hummingbird is essentially the bird that carries the dreams of the living to the afterworld. And from the spiritual realm, they carry messages to us from our loved ones. That is why the gods deemed that no hummingbird could ever live in captivity, for they had to fly and deliver the messages back and forth from our realm to others. Also, hummingbirds, a flock of hummingbirds is called a glittering, which, like, duh, glittery ass bitch with the makeup all the time. A tune, which, hello, interviewing artist, yes. And also a bouquet, which, like, I don't know, I love flowers and I think they're pretty. Granted, I cannot keep plants and flowers to save my life. I do not have a green thumb. I am blessed that my baby plant that my parents gifted me is still alive and well and kicking, and they got me one of the lowest maintenance plants they could possibly find, because they knew my ass would not be able to keep any other. Like, I think I had gotten, my dad loves poinsettias, so a few years back I had gotten him one, and I had it for a day, and I overwatered it in a day. With me, it was already dying, and I took it to him, and I was like, I don't know what I did, I'm so sorry. He's like, did you water it? I'm like, yes. And he's like, well. And then he went into this whole science of, like, it wasn't the right time at the right day of the week, and and all these things, and I was like, this is why it's for you, because I don't know what I'm doing. Which is hilarious, because my parents had green fucking thumb. They can make anything grow. Like, I don't know. They're amazing that way. But yeah, that's why hummingbirds. It is part of me, of my culture, of describing what it is that I love to do and what I want to do with this podcast. And also, hummingbirds are super fucking cute. Here are pictures to prove it. But yeah, I hope you guys like the route that pop culture takes moving forward. And para todos mis amados colibrís que hablan español, ¿cómo están, bebés, bebecitas, bebesotas, bebesotes? Bienvenidos a Pop Culture. Yes, to all my lovely hummingbirds in English speaking solely. That is the end of this English portion. We are moving along into the Spanish portion now. So, as always, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos, y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, many kisses, and reminding you to always look up at the moon. I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all next week for the official commencement of season 4. Now, for all my Spanish-speaking listeners, hola mis amados colibrís, ¿cómo están? Este es un breve anuncio que voy a hacer. Bienvenidos a la 4ª temporada de Pop Culture. Para los que no saben, Pop Culture es una serie donde voy a cubrir todo lo que está sucediendo en los medios, en la industria, más entrevistar a artistas más proveerles información sobre cosas de salud mental, salud física, especialmente la endometriosis, y también hablarles de cosas como el tarot, los oráculos y darles lecturas de echarle las cartas y todo eso. Van a ver cambios de cómo hago las cosas aquí en Pop Culture. Van a poder ver los videos aquí en YouTube o escuchar en la plataforma de Spotify. Si es que no quieren ver el video, no tienen chance y solo quieren escuchar el audio, lo pueden hacer ahí. Di toda una explicación, pero esencialmente para ustedes lo único que quiero decirles es que Pop Culture en español se va a lanzar oficialmente. Voy a tratar de hacer todo lo que pueda posible para todas las series. Y ojalá que les guste la información que se les da. Ojalá que les encante esta plataforma. Que les encante el contenido. Y un poco de historia. So, Pop Culture empezó originalmente hace... cuando yo y una de mis mejores amigas teníamos otra compañía que se llamaba Helloooo Media. Durante COVID, cuando empezó, ella dijo, ¿sabes qué? Es tuyo, haz lo que tú quieras con el podcast, haz lo que tú quieras con esta plataforma. Le dije, ya estás. Y luego yo me puse a pensar, ¿qué chingados es lo que voy a hacer con esto? Por mucho tiempo, no sé qué fue lo que sucedió. Me perdí, honestamente, y empecé a hacer todo lo mismo que todos estaban haciendo. Y me perdí del enfoque que yo tenía originalmente para esta serie, para este canal, para lo que quería hacer con mi compañía. Para todos ustedes que no saben, So Pop Culture es el nombre por el cual es conocido mi compañía. El nombre oficial es Helloooo LLC. Y es una compañía de medios y entretenimiento y donde también ofrezco lecturas de echar cartas. Empecé originalmente con la idea de traer sean artistas grandes y artistas locales y hacer un puente para unir y exponerlos a todos los que escuchan este podcast. Y a divulgar esas historias y lo que existe detrás del arte y de la industria y todo eso y todo lo que ha sucedido en mi vida en lo personal por medio del año y medio atrás. Me impidió hacer las cosas como yo quería, me impidió a ser genuina conmigo misma y no supe cómo seguir adelante. Y después del año pasado, cuando hizo Spotify lo que es el Spotify Wrapped, donde básicamente dicen que es todo lo que se escuchó, el podcast y todo eso, y vi el apoyo inmenso que aún tuvo mi podcast y tuvo este canal, aún después de que yo no hubiera sido tan consistente con mi trabajo. Porque esto es un trabajo, honestamente. Yo hago todo. Maquillaje, edición, sonido, grabación. Escribo qué va a ser el tema de conversación. Los hechos, los datos, todo. Hasta todo lo que tengo que buscar. Todo el trabajo lo hago yo. Y no solo se me hizo, dejó de ser algo que yo amo hacer y se hizo más bien como un deber. Pero no un deber de que, es mi deber y porque me gusta hacerlo y todo eso, más bien como un deber de, a la chingada porque estoy haciendo esto. Y me perdí. Y honestamente ya no quiero seguir así. So, vamos a reestructurar todo lo que es Pop Culture. Y aunque sí, aún vamos a estar hablando de lo que suceden con las celebridades y con los artistas y la farándula y lo que sucede en el mundo en general y cosas sobre la industria, entrevistas con artistas, maquillaje y motivación, el tarot, información sobre la salud mental y la endometriosis. Todo eso va a seguir, todo eso va a estar igual. Aún voy a traer gente que va a hacer los episodios conmigo y todo eso, pero vamos a cambiar la estructura y básicamente todos los videos que ven aquí en YouTube los van a poder escuchar en Spotify. Voy a mezclarlo, voy a tratar, como dije, hacer los episodios en inglés y los episodios en español para ustedes, mis amados colibrís que solo hablan español, para que también tengan la chance de ver todo lo que uno ya ha hecho en inglés, pero también para darles toda la información que pueda en aspecto especialmente sobre la salud mental, el endometriosis y la motivación que doy en maquillaje y motivación, la información sobre el tarot, todo eso. Pero un poquito de historia sobre por qué digo mis amados colibrís, para los que no sepan. Esencialmente el colibrí es mi pájaro favorito. Sí, tengo pájaro favorito. Tengo un animal favorito de todos los animales. Como soy tía, tienes que estar listo para cuando te pregunten, tía, ¿cuál es tu dinosaurio favorito? Y si no tienes respuesta, pues a la chingada contigo entonces. No, pero mis bromas a un lado. Es mi pájaro favorito. El segundo es... no cuervo. Es cuervo, pero yo digo que no es cuervo. Es este. El cuervito chiquito, no el que está aquí todo feo, que tiene el cuello bien largo. Anyway. Y esos son mis dos pájaros favoritos, el colibrí y el cuervo. La razón que digo mis amados colibrís, aparte de que me encanta, es porque no sé si conozcan la historia mexicana de cómo se crió el colibrí y todo eso, pero esencialmente el colibrí es el mensajero entre nuestro plano de existencia aquí en la tierra hacia el mundo de los sueños, hacia el mundo del más allá, y son los que pueden viajar entre los 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planos de existencia, los que ustedes digan que existan, y llevan los mensajes desde nosotros hasta nuestros seres queridos, hasta nuestros guías, nuestros ángeles, nuestros ancestros, Dios, y traen los mensajes también hacia nosotros. Aparte de eso, el nombre para un grupo de colibrís se llama melodía, se llama un reluciente y se llama también un ramo, como si fuera un ramo de flores. Y qué mejor nombre para todos ustedes, mis amados colibrís que me escuchan, cuando todo lo que hago en aspectos de maquillaje tiene algún tipo de brillo. Y hablamos de la música y me encantan las flores. Qué malo pura ver para cuidar de las plantas, pero y también me encantan los colibrís porque aunque su corazón late a una velocidad enorme y sus alas se mueven a una velocidad increíble, aún pueden con su piquito sacar la miel de una flor sin hacerle daño. Me encantan. Bueno, eso es todo lo que tenía por anunciarles. Bienvenidos a la 4ª temporada de Pop Culture, 3 años después. Gracias por verme, por escuchar, aunque si solo estaban viendo los episodios en inglés, porque era lo único que estaba subiendo y aún siguieron. Se les agradece de todo corazón, honestamente. Espero que les gusten los temas de los cuales vamos a estar hablando. Espero que les guste cómo vamos a seguir con el canal y las series y todo. Es todo. Los quiero mucho. Ya luego nos vemos. Como siempre, les mando mucha paz, muchos besos. Y les recuerdo que miren hacia la luna, sending you much peace, many kisses, and always reminding you to look up at the moon. Los quiero, mis amados colibrís, de todo corazón. Síganme en todos mis handles. Ya cambió el handle aquí en YouTube. Ya no es Dress It's Wifey, es LAVPBLLLC, que es el nombre de mi compañía. Todo para que todo vaya fluyendo un poco más sólido. Obviamente no le puedo poner Pop Culture al canal porque alguien ya lo tiene. Pero ya es todo. Los quiero, los adoro. Ahí nos vemos. Cuídense. Y nos vemos la semana que viene con el comienzo oficial de la 4ª temporada de Pop Culture. Los adoro. Hasta luego. Bye.